out here.
We out here, young and Muslim.
Y&M boys.
Hey, Y&M men.
We've been around the world, now I'm back again.
Back again. Where have you been?
I've been keeping that secret. I've been keeping it I've been extremely secretive, for the last like 5 months. Mainly because I've been off of social media, but just because I don't want nobody to know where I'm at.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, did you have fun? Or like, why did you take the trip?
Fam, I'm pretty sure I had a mental breakdown. like all jokes aside, bro, like I was holding it together, bro. COVID was like, I was like, yo, everyone's all depressed. I'm like, I'm good. Like I was working, I was making money. I was like, yo, blah, 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 blah.
Early midlife crisis.
Bro, if that's what a midlife crisis is, bro, like I don't even want it, fam. Like I just want to be able to buy a car because I want to feel good, right? But nah, like I thought I was holding it together, well into it, and then it like things started to hit me in a way.
Can you pass me the water?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. And so I think just the way the year started off was good, and then. You know, we did Ramadan remedies. We talked a lot about that. And, I just think it was just a lot. Like Ramadan came and I was just like,
Did you get your first gray hair yet?
You know, I actually don't have any gray hairs, right? But I have this one beard hair, like right in the front, like on my chin, that's brown.
For real?
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, I got a brown hair. I'm about to look like Malcolm X. I was all hype. I'm about to look like Haj Malik Shabazz.
Hey, and that was without the henna, right? You ain't put no henna on your beard?
I was actually thinking about doing that.
Philly style?
I'm actually thinking about doing that. My beard's long enough now, but nah, no henna. And then I was like, Mom, like, what is it? She was like, oh boy, that's the start of a gray hair. I was like, that's for the. But yeah, man, I've been unaware of a lot of things going on. Happily unaware of a lot of things going on. No checking in, no hit. Like, there's people that I haven't talked to in months. And I recently got back on because, you know, we had an event this weekend. We out in New York City. If y'all follow us on IG and Facebook, y'all saw some of that stuff. But
Harlem.
I just got on, social just to show off the chopped cheese.
Yeah, well,
the chopped
yeah. Haji, shout out to Haji. It was funny because I think in one of Dave
110th, baby.
One of Dave East's songs, I think he talks about Haji's joint.
Oh, yeah,
East Harlem, Spanish Harlem.
Yeah, bro. Look. That was like what's that show that comes on Facebook? It's Humans in New York. I felt like I was like dead center in that show, bro. Like such a peaceful place. When you find your pockets, when you find the right pockets in New York, it's a very peaceful place. But yeah, man, I've been quiet. How you been though? Like for the people, like, look, if you're tuning in, this is your first podcast with us, or if it's like you're a seasoned listener, you guys know like we've been off the boil, and it's taken a lot to get certain things right on camera. Off camera, we've actually I feel like we've been doing.
We have
been doing younger Muslim stuff pretty well as far as business development, but on camera has been a little bit tougher because we've been having to deal with like real life stuff. Exactly.
And it's easy to just get in front of the camera and just record because that doesn't take too much organization or any type of it doesn't take as many resources as it takes to sustain the podcast, make sure you have money coming in to, you know, upgrade our equipment, make sure that we're able to go on trips and not paying out of pocket and hurting ourselves. And you know how it is to keep renting cars. I actually got my first gray hair. If you're on the YouTube, you can probably see it. Zoom in.
Yeah, it's you got a gray patch.
No, it's not a patch. Literally, it's one strand.
Yeah, bro.
Sometimes I'm thinking about picking it up, but I was like, no, it'll help me humble myself.
Oh my God. No, what you need to do is go on vacation.
Vacation? We was just.
No, that was not vacation.
That was not vacation.
That's not vacation. And this trip coming up is not vacation.
It's not vacation.
It's not vacation.
Vacation is when you can actually plug out, not worry about anybody calling you, and everything's taken care of.
If I go on a trip and the people that are sponsoring me being on the trip want me to do social media, that's work.
If I'm pulling out my phone and I'm posting anything on the story,
bro, no one knows where I went.
That's a vacation.
That's vacation.
That's the hiatus.
I went to a place where no one spoke English. And I didn't speak the language.
Shoot a DM on IG if you guys can guess where Gibraltar was.
Nope, don't do that. Because I'm not going to tell y'all, like, seriously.
The closest one gets halal turkey breast. Halal turkey leg.
A juicy smoked turkey leg. Yes, we had some nice smoked, meat over at Busch Gardens the other day. That was pretty dope. But, yeah. I haven't gone to an amusement park in a minute, but spending time with the fam. Yeah, man, I've been just doing stuff like that. You feel me? Good. Like trying to be low key, spend time with my fam. Cause like, it's just, bro, the last year's been chaos, man.
Yeah, and you asked me where I've been. I've just been in the moment, like you said, doing a whole bunch of stuff offline, hanging out with you, hanging out with family, hanging out with my wife. When we drop this episode, it's gonna be actually her birthday, so happy early.
Yeah,
happy birthday, shout out everybody. Make sure you guys go hit her up, show her some love. But yeah, honestly, been hanging out with my little brother. My family's in Egypt right now, so just been checking in on them and seeing how they're having so much fun. And Eid al-Adha was just underway, which we celebrated. We got dressed. We didn't take it for granted. And we went out to New York and even extended our Eid, which is always nice because, we really got dressed up. You feel me? And it was funny because I was telling my wife, we were walking down the streets and literally there was people over there that had more expensive clothes than us, like you talking about Gucci down, Balmain, all that good stuff. But literally the classy man or the classic type of look will always be in style.
Always prevails, bro.
You know what I'm saying? And
Mo's about to catch himself a second wife. Don't get it twisted.
We were literally walking down the street and we had grown men like give us the head nod. Like, I see y'all. Y'all some players. Y'all doing it right. And even the older ladies like, oh man, if I was this
lady grabbed him. She was like, hey, let me take a picture with y'all.
Yeah, she didn't even know we were young and Muslim. You feel me? We were just young and handsome.
She don't care what your religion is. Nah, that was cool, man. But look, before we get into it, Mo,
no more details.
Give me the countdown, my friend.
Yes, baby.
Hold on. Let's revel in this moment because it's been so long.
Moment of silence.
Let's get to it. All right,
it's gonna be 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, everybody? This is Jabril Salam
and Muhammad Hassan,
and you are listening to the Young and Muslim Podcast.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Man, it's been so long since we did that intro,
bro. I got a confession.
What's that?
I thought I lost my memory. So I'm walking with my sister. We're taking a walk around the block, right? And I think we had like talked earlier today or something. We were like, yo, we're going to record. We're going to do X, Y, Z. And I was walking and I was like, and I was like, and Natalia looked at me. She was like, did you lose it? I was like, I think I lost it. I think I lost the yeah. And we were just dying because I literally couldn't do it. But we get on the microphone, we get in the zone, and it delivers. The delivers for y'all, baby, for the people,
for y'all. And look, for all of our '90s babies out there, if you guys watched The Fairly Odd Parents, you would know exactly what Jabril's relating to. If you know what happened to my boy Chip, what's his name? Chip Skylark. What's his name?
Chip Skylark.
Yeah, Chip Skylark when he lost his teeth. Or was it when he lost his voice?
Shiny teeth.
He lost his shiny teeth. So
he couldn't do nothing without his shiny teeth.
He couldn't sing. He lost his home. His legacy was done. And
he lost all his joints.
He lost everything. We thought Jabril's at that point, but he found it.
I came back, you know what I'm saying? I had to come back for the joints.
No, not for the joints.
For the people, my fault, for the people.
For the people.
But you look, going back to it, right? We started off talking about like social media breaks, and I've had a lot of people ask me like why I took a social media break. So I deleted the app. It was gone for about 3 months, but even before that, I wasn't posting, wasn't really doing anything on stories. I was traveling. I went to, a couple different countries, and I didn't want to like post anything. And there's a couple of reasons. One, because first off, I wanted to go to a place where no one knew me. Because, alhamdulillah, like the podcast has gotten to a place where now I go certain places, and if it's a Muslim crowd, even when it's not a Muslim crowd, like people like know the podcast, which is dope. It's cool. Any of you guys that are listening that have met me in person or like we've linked up, like I really appreciate it. I love meeting all y'all and like getting to talk and see where you guys are at and how you guys stumble on the podcast. It's dope. But it also is like you get on a level because now you're in a space where people know you, but you don't know them. Because we're very transparent on here. We share a lot of our real lives on here. So people are like, yo, like you really went through that. And it's like, yo, fam, like, yo, it's mind blowing. So it was nice for me to get off of social where love is an overused word. Even in the Muslim community, I find it very fake.
What type of love? What do you mean by love?
Yo, I love you, bro. Mashallah, I love you for the sake of Allah. It's like, bro, like you don't know me at all. And the reality is none of us know each other on social media unless we've met each other in person. Butch, I love Butch. Why? We spent over a week with this man. Talking on the phone with this man.
Met his family.
Yeah, we broke bread with this man. So it was like, it wasn't just a matter of, oh, like we're on social media and you seem cool and I'm like, yo, I love you, bro. Like you're my Muslim bro. It's like, nah, like I don't like, it's like that word gets swung around so easily. You feel me? And for me, it was like, I needed to separate myself from the brand of Brill, the brand of Jabril, the brand of Jabril Salon to just be Brill, to be Jabril, to be me. And, it was difficult because like we talk about with Ramadan remedies, you're in this place where your nafs are intertwined with who you are, even though they're two separate entities. So, you know, I took that time. I was like, no social media. I don't want to be viewing people because I didn't want to look at what other people were doing and be like, oh, like I should be working or, oh man, I need to be doing X, Y, and Z. And even still, like my iman, my faith has been like very, very rocky. I would say the rockiest it's probably ever been. And a lot of it stemmed from me viewing other people with a seemingly high iman for themselves or low for themselves. I don't know. But it made me start to question myself. But then I realized with this time on social media, everything is smoke and mirrors, especially because when you meet people in person or you get to understand people who their whole lives are presented on social media, nothing is as it seems. Like a lot of people are very unhappy on social media or off of social media, but on social media you can never tell. So it's like that break for me was really about trying to find myself and where I was in my present moment and decipher what was real love versus fake love. Like, you know, right? When you go to a place where no one knows you and people still treat you with love, that's real love.
Oh yeah.
That's real.
Authentic.
That's exactly. It gets no more real than that because they don't know you. And they have to make a judgment in person, right? Versus people see your curated content. They see what you put out and they're like, yo, I love you. But it's like, am I deserving of that love? You lose your autonomy. You lose your ability to be yourself because now you feel like you have to cater to a group of people who have a love for you and for what you do, and you have to keep that up. So for me, it was like a big relief not being on social media, not talking to people that I physically can't call up. And I tell people all the time, if you love me, you can call me.
Yeah.
The people that love me have my number. The people that show love have my number. If you can't reach me when I'm not on social media, then that means that we aren't as close as we thought. Now, for those of you who I do know personally, we just lost contact, you know, I apologize.
Hope you're not watching this
I just don't love you enough. So
I like what you said, and 2 points came to mind. The first thing is that when I see social media and reality is where you're at right now. Social media is where you want to be. So basically, social media is what people want to be. Exactly. That's why it's a highlight reel. Highlight reel is you at your best. So we know that we're not always at our best, but to get to our best, it's going to take some time. But the problem is that in between the reality and social media is all the failures, right? It's all the failures. It's all the ugly stuff that we don't want to show. So the problem is that if you're living right here where social media is, well, you guys can't probably see it, but if you're living at the highlight reel and you're checking back in with reality every once in a while, then you kind of lose the sense of who you are, where you're going. And if you're trying to figure out who you want to be or where you're trying to go in life, social media is the last place you want to be at because you'll be influenced by so many things. Next thing you know, you want to be an actor. Now you want to own a logistics company. Now you want to do drop shipping. Now you want to do wholesaling because that's what everybody else is doing. That's what you're seeing. You're like, oh man, well, they're doing it. I think I can do it. Oh, well, it only took them 2 months. Everybody just wants to hop on, not the latest trend, but nobody's really digging inside and figure out like, man, what do I like? Who am I really? So when you take that social media break, it forces you to focus on the task at hand and it focuses you to be present with your real life and actually deal with the stuff that you got in front of you, right? So
Yeah.
that's the first thing. Second thing is that, which you had mentioned, in regards to real love, if you're in a situation where you have an emergency, where you need money, you need a kidney, you need somebody to pull up on you, are you going to go on Instagram to call somebody? No, right? You're not going to go on social media. The first thing you'll do is go through your contacts, look at your favorites, or look at those individuals that are always there for you, right? So if that's the case, then why are we looking for outside affirmation? Why are we looking for outside love on a daily basis? What I mean by that is that if you got your homies that are there for you in your corner, then why are you so caught up into like who's liking your posts, who's shooting you a DM, who's viewing your story? At the end of the day, does it really matter?
Well, bro, it's addicting though. And that's what the problem is. The social media is, it releases dopamine. It gives you like a hit of dopamine when you see, oh, my picture's getting likes, or this is happening. That you said something after a talk we had, and it was like, we had to post with purpose. And someone else told me this. I talked to this millionaire CEO. I'm in like one of his mentor programs, and I asked him, I was like, yo, like, how do you do your social media and stuff? And this is actually what kind of prompted me to get off of social, because I had to figure out how do we run this? How do we do our thing without having to be ran by social media? Like, how do we control it, not the other way around? And one of the first things he said was, I don't run any of my social media. You see my face on everything. You see videos I post. He was like, I take that stuff and I send it to somebody.
Cause he treats it like a job. The problem with everybody else, social media, they treat it as life. That's the problem. Social media now is life. Like, so when you wake up in the morning and the first thing you're thinking, your mind automatically is programmed to go on social media and look at the different food. Like, if your whole life sits on your phone and on those apps, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Just like, for example, today, Jabril and I, we found this hole in the wall restaurant over here. It was awesome, but the only way we found that was being present, talking to the locals, and we found a great restaurant.
We went on Google. Don't hype it up more than it really was. Hey. We went on Google. Look, I'm not going, all right, but to go to your point, right?
Yeah.
So when I was away, when I was out of the country, I wasn't on social at all. I was tempted to post, but I took videos, because here's what, you know what I miss about the 90s and like early 2000s is when someone went on a trip and you had to wait to see them, and they would bring the pictures that they took on the trip so you could see what the trip was.
Yeah. Only if you saw them and caught up with them.
Exactly.
And heard the stories.
And so I remember my granddad, he used to travel the world, and like, he's a big inspiration of mine for, you know, just living life, right? And taking the risk, going, black men doing their thing. And I was like, I want to do the same thing. The only people who would know where I was at and what I've been up to would have to see me in person, and I would have to sit there and talk to them and be like, yo, like, this was great, and this is what I learned, and this is my experience. And one day I wanted to sit down and share it. And again, if someone from the pod that listens meet me in person, they're like, yo, like, how was this trip? Where'd you go? I'll gladly share it. But I don't think that it's necessary for me to say, yo, I was here.
Yeah.
You guys got to go.
I'm still waiting for those pics, information.
Yeah. Because, we'll think about it. The other thing with social media that I realized is that my projected happiness could make someone else unhappy. Right? And I don't want someone else to feel like they're not doing enough, because the perception is that, oh, look what he's doing. He's making money and traveling and looking fly. Like, fam, when I tell you it was the furthest from, I purposely was staying in the slums of where I was at. I purposely wasn't staying in high class hotels. I purposely wasn't renting cars. I purposely was like you said, with the locals. Yeah, I was with the locals. Like, I was like, no one spoke English where I was staying at. Like, that's how local it was. Like, I had to communicate using my phone, Google Translate. So like, you know, I took that journey. I call it a vision quest. A vision quest is, you know, I forget the particular, tribe of Native Americans, but there's this, it's almost like a bar mitzvah of sorts. Like, when the young man comes of age, he's given, I believe it's peyote. It's some sort of psychedelic. He's given a bow, you know, a couple weapons, and they're like, yo, go into the wild, right? He travels for, you know, umpteen days, and while he has these vivid dreams, and he's taking these psychedelics to kind of figure out where his life is supposed to take him, and he's supposed to have this spiritual experience. I was like, I need that. I don't do psychedelics. It's not really my thing. If you do, cool, more power to you. But it's not really my thing. But I needed fresh air. I needed a new environment. I needed to challenge myself. And I feel like a lot of people need that, but they're too scared to do it because it's hard to replicate the things you see on social media. Yeah. It's very hard. It's not easy to be like a travel vlogger. I have so much respect for those people. It's not easy.
Well, because of social media, right, what's come to mind is the art of storytelling starting to die down because of social media. And what I mean by that is that if you go on a trip, say you go to the beach and you posted a whole bunch of pictures of you and the family going to the beach and you post it on Facebook. Now everybody that views that album, they know exactly what happened. Oh, you went to the carnival. Oh, you had some funnel cake. Oh, you did this. Oh, you did that. So now you don't have to tell them what happened on the trip. They're already assuming. You follow me? So for example, you went on your trip. I still don't know what happened. I literally have to wait for you so I can learn about that particular city that you were at. You follow me? And then people forget that the Quran and information is passed through stories. So if we're not telling stories anymore because we're posting on our story, what does that do?
Damn, that's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? What does that do for us? Podcasting and YouTube is a little bit different because I can sit here and literally break you down a visual. But if you're trying to read my moves by looking at one picture, that's a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But we have to take responsibility for that as the creators. Like, we put this stuff out there. They say a picture says 1,000 words, but when there's no context to the picture, what does it matter? You know what I'm saying? Like, you just look like you're flying, you're stunning, and it's great, all things. But it's like, bro, like, no one really knows, like, what was going on when I was there. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't think it's bad. And I want to go on social now that I'm semi back, right? Like, I'm not there permanently. I want to, have an open discussion about like, why I was gone, what I learned, and why I think everyone, and I say everyone, you need to have very strong boundaries around your social media use. Like, I don't keep it on my home screen anymore. I have to like swipe up and to click it, and I have timers on my social media, because if I'm BSing on it, then I'll just time out for the day.
There was too much. There was too much time. Like, is it different for everybody? Is 1 hour a day too much? 5 hours a day? 10 hours a day? How can people find those parameters?
You gotta figure it out for yourself, bro. I'm not trying to, just dismiss it, but you have to figure it out for yourself. Like, we have a social platform with thousands of followers, and that takes work, and we have to do research. Like, we have employees now. So a lot of stuff we were doing behind the scenes and not being on social, I realized, okay, I need to get on so that I can be like, yo, like, I like what this is. See if you can do this, or like sending our editor and people, our employees, like things that we want them to research and look up. They need to know that even our news to an extent comes off of social. So like, I might end up using 2 hours a day, where someone who is just on there scrolling maybe only needs 30 minutes.
Well, I guess the better question to ask is, how do I know that I don't have any boundaries with social media? How do I know I have a problem? Because before you know a problem, you have to acknowledge that there is a problem. Yeah. So how can somebody sit there and be like, yo, you know what? I actually have a problem.
You have to, well, first off, it takes self-awareness. Like, you have to be self-aware of how you feel when you're on it. So if you feel anxious when you post something, you're not getting enough likes, or if you're depressed when that DM doesn't go off. I noticed for myself that I cut off notifications like over a year ago.
I remember,
because I started getting like I'll get a notification. I go, oh snap, what's that? Like, it was like, I felt like I got Scooby snack or something. like I just felt like, oh man, like, let me check it. Like, oh, what? Oh, this person didn't like it. Like, oh, like you have these expectations of what social media is going to bring. And when it doesn't bring that, it hurts you, especially because everything's algorithm based. So certain people, like, let's say you like a guy or you like a girl and you're like, oh, she didn't like my pictures. She probably didn't see it.
Jabril's giving y'all some hope.
Yeah, no, I'm giving you hope, but it's real though, because social media you gotta think they create that algorithm to incite that sort of anxiety and that kind of like that crackheadish behavior. in you to always be craving the next hit of dopamine. Like, oh, who liked my picture? Oh, I got this many likes. Oh, let me post this. Oh, nah, this one doesn't work. It's like you're always in a state of self-consciousness, and that's not healthy.
Because it's results-based, right? That's the problem with social media. It's results-based. If everything in life was results-based, we would all have problems. And what I mean by that is that when I go to the gym, right, you can say the gym's results-based, but after I go to the gym the first day, I'm not seeing any results. I'm not seeing any results second day, the third day. I might even start seeing results after the first month. So what I'm trying to get at is that social media, as soon as you get on, you'll see results. As soon as I put on the post, somebody's going to like it. Somebody's going to share it. Somebody's going to comment on it. So because it's results based, you're so focused on the outcome that you're not looking at the process. So when you look at the process, the outcome doesn't matter whether 1,000 people like it or 5 people like it, because you like the process, you like the game, you like what it offers. But when you only focus on the results, that means that you're going to be very moody and you're going to swing with whatever the results is. So if you get a lot of traction, I'm happy, right? I'm happy until the next post. If you don't get a lot of traction, I'm sad. I'm depressed. I need help. I don't want anybody around me. You know, woe is me. So that's just a lot on anybody on a daily basis. Come on, man.
Yeah. I mean, look, bro, at the end of the day, it also depends on why you're on these platforms. Like,
do we even know why we on these days?
Most people don't. That's the thing. Most people.
Why? Sometimes I find myself like, why am I even on here?
But so that's when you have to recognize you have a problem. Like, if you're on it and you're like, I don't understand why I'm on the platform. It's like, yo, then you need to reevaluate what your purpose is.
Do I need a reason though?
Yes, you need a reason.
Why do I need a reason to be on social media? I'm just curious.
All right, because you're just wasting time. Like, so what are you going to do? So you're just scrolling. Like, bro, we becoming watchers instead of doers. Like, we're born to be explorers and the people that conquer the world, not people that are just scrolling on their phone to look at other people doing other things.
We got quick fingers now, fam.
yeah, but like same deal. Like, we were at the event in New York City, right? Mm-hmm. And, you know, it was noticeable that we only knew a couple people in that room, which was great. I really liked that.
I actually did like that, yeah.
But we know for a fact that people that we know were invited. Right? I look at that and say, I told our boy Ismail, I said, bro, one thing about us, we going to pull up. You still on the camera, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. You still in the, I just didn't know if you could see or something. Like, you still in the camera. But like real life is, yo, I'm about to pull up, or you see an event and you act on it, or social media was supposed to be a means to an end, and it's just becoming a means to another means to another means to another means that has no ending. It is it's like you're swimming in circles in this endless pit of just nothingness, because once one post is gone, it doesn't matter anymore. Like, it's just on to the next one. The algorithm, social media is not meant to entice happiness. No. You're not meant to take action on it. They make money off of your attention, and attention is the time that you're putting in just doing nothing. I have this rule where, I think SQ said it when I think it was off camera. He was like, look, I have a rule that if I'm scrolling if I scroll past more than like 30 pictures and I'm just like scrolling, I get off. And I was like, cool. I use Instagram, for example. That's the one social media that's been very hard for me. I use it as a research tool. Mm-hmm. And majority of the time, I'll be honest, and this for anyone that like follows me, majority of the time I'm just up there looking at Liverpool stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at transfers. I'm looking at highlights. I'm looking at, I like soccer stuff. So I'm literally looking at soccer stuff, or I'm reaching out to friends. But I'm not spending time just like going and liking girls' pictures, and like, it's just a waste of time, bro.
Well, you gotta look at the history. When social media was first made, let's go back to MySpace and Facebook, right? MySpace's job was for you to curate a space that you're comfortable and that your friends can come in and learn more about you. Then you went to Facebook, and on Facebook, its whole concept was to stay connected with friends, which was okay, right? That was the whole point. But we started running into issues when they started placing a whole bunch of ads, and they were like, people you may know. That's when the issue started, like those recommendations. Because now I started getting friend requests from people that I don't know. Random friends, Jabril's mother, sister's cousin. So you may know them. Now I'm adding them. And I went from having 100 quality friends that I know to now, how do I have 3,000? How do I have 3,000 people on Facebook?
Bro,
now?
I get you, but I think you stepped over something that was way more important.
And what was that?
When they went from it being a timeline to a news feed, that's when it messed things up, because it went from, oh, you posted this an hour ago, and it showed, you remember back when we were in college, Facebook was like really getting popping. It was like, you just scroll down your timeline. It would start at whatever from the last time you logged in to current.
Yeah, that's
and
so
you would
true.
just go up.
Yeah, and I'll check in on like what happened today. What happened the past hour.
Now you're going down your news feed, and you're getting stuff that's like from 3 days ago, 2 days. It's like, bro, I don't care. I want to see the people I follow. I follow a lot of like nature stuff and like soccer. I want to see that stuff, but no, I follow 1,000 people and I see the same 20 over and over again.
Yeah.
So again, like I said, it's smoke and mirrors. Like the algorithm is making you purposely get on it. Like these people that create these things know how addicting it is. It is a drug. Evil. Point blank. I got off because I was starting to have an adverse reaction to my addiction to social media. That's why I got off. It was not making me happy. I was depressed. I'm telling you, I'm not going to say severe, but I had like a slight mental break. And I won't go into this nice. I think it happened specifically after the Ramadan burnout that everyone experiences at some point in time, is when you're at the spiritual level. And this Ramadan, we did a lot. We had Ramadan remedies that was going on. We were traveling a lot. Dealing with families, you were newly married. Like there was a lot of things happening at once. And not to mention, I think this Ramadan was even tougher than last, because you almost like resigned to the fact that, we ain't going nowhere. Right? It was still like the numbers were at record numbers going into this Ramadan. Like it was just a lot of things going on. And afterwards it was like, okay, how do I maintain this? And I literally I couldn't maintain it at all. And I just cracked. And I was like, I got to get off. I need, like the whole Ramadan was spent teaching people, talking to people, communicating. It was like, bro, I'm done. I need that.
It was give. It was just give, exerting a lot of energy. And it's okay to give. We should all give, but don't forget to give to yourself. Don't forget to reserve that energy, because we literally.
That laptop going wild, B.
My laptop?
Let's do it.
No, it won't catch it. I'll take off the other background noise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So the problem is that even during Ramadan, you're so focused on giving, and you only have so much left in the tank. And the issue is that after Ramadan, right, because you gave so much, you don't have that community that was cultivated. You don't have those same, spiritual guys. You don't have those same people supporting you like during Ramadan. Cause there's a lot of support during Ramadan, right? It's like you gotta keep pushing, keep fasting, keep reading, keep being a generous human being. Then after Ramadan, everybody's just gone. Right? So you go from 0 to 100 or 100 to 0. So when you go up that fast and come back down that fast, there's going to be some mental issues in there.
Yeah.
You feel me? Yeah. There's going to be some spiritual issues in there. There's going to be some emotional issues in there. And that's okay. It's okay to know that, hey, you've been burnt out and you need time to rekindle, to rejuvenate. Because the problem is that we think that stuff is normal. It's not normal to be burnt out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not normal to be burnt out. It's not normal to just literally not be able to do anything for yourself because you have given so much, you have given your all. That's why it's so important to take mental breaks. And for everybody, a mental break looks different. Some people could be traveling. Some people can be going on daily walks. And when it comes to having that a proper mental health, right, is to do it on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? Like to have those tasks in hand, just like when it comes to journaling and talking to people and just,
much better.
And looking out for yourself, working out. We have to take care of ourselves on a daily basis. I think that's what the problem is. We look for that one trip, that one vacation, that one shebang. Yeah, it's going to be nice, but then tomorrow you back
bro,
at it.
Well, here's the thing. We don't know how to properly self-care. I'm learning in my mentorship program that as men, we don't properly self-care. We don't properly medicate for ourselves, right? And we always say, oh, women do a good job. Maybe they don't. Maybe the stuff they're doing doesn't really work, because I think they're just as miserable as we are. Like, let's be honest, right?
A little bit better.
Maybe a little bit better, right? But like, we have to start figuring out what do we need to, what do we need for self-care on a regular basis? Like, for me, I miss balling. Like, I got injured last year, so I couldn't play. I'm still dealing with the injury and source. I feel like I need to get surgery. And I realized, like, that was a way that I had self-care. Like, it was like, that was my time to, like, play my music on the way to a game, kind of like see my friends that I get to see once, twice a week in ball. And it was just like, whew, it was a relief. But like, that amount of time without it made me realize it. And then when I started doing it again, I was like, I missed this. Or taking time to just do nothing and watch TV, watch movies. Like, that's self-care. We fall into this fallacy that if you aren't doing anything, then you're lessening your chances to success. But the reality also is that everyone's path to their success is different. And if you just keep going so hard that you break mentally, that can take, it's just like a regular injury. It can take months to recover. And for me, that's what it's taking. It's taking months to really get back into a solid state. And I really feel like I'm kind of getting back. And I had people reaching out like, yo, where you at? Da, da, da. And my man, big bro hit me. He was like, yo, like, you got to get back. Like, the people need you.
People need you, fam.
Yeah. And, I talked to my spiritual guy, my advisor, and he said the same thing. He was like, like, you need to, but it also makes me say, yo, y'all take care of yourselves. Like, I'm a normal dude too. And there's a lot of pressure on creators to continue to create when they don't have the mental and emotional capacity to create. And I'm not saying our audiences are insensitive. I think our audience is the best, most understanding audience out there.
Yes.
But even still, realize that not just us, but any creator has to go through a time where it's like, yo, you gotta take a break. Here's why I like Kendrick Lamar. Let's just go into that. Mm-hmm. Kendrick Lamar will take years to live in order to make the music. Understand what it takes to make a song of his caliber. I'm not talking about, just people that just talk about, fucking bitches and getting money and riding the cars and how to, like, cool. I can make one of those songs, and I'm broke. All right. Well, I'm not broke. Shorty, I ain't broke. You have to live. You have to experience some things. To Pimp a Butterfly was one of the best albums ever in hip hop ever. Where this guy, he literally traveled to South Africa and explored his mental just insight to what he was experiencing today and what someone like Nelson Mandela was experiencing on Robben Island, and the atrocities that he's seen at home, how they are the same as the apartheid, right? Like, how do you just come up with that in a vacuum? And I feel like that's what social media is. It's a vacuum. They say that you can't grow in a vacuum. Nothing grows in a vacuum. Mm-mm. And that's us. Like, we expect to be able to sit on social media and be like, yo, I'm progressing. I'm doing my thing. Da, da, da. I'm going, leveling up. But it's like, bro, you're not living. You're not experiencing anything. You're not challenging yourself. There's nothing difficult about scrolling on social media and being like, yo, I understand the algorithms. And yo, like, we do this and stuff. It's like, yo, bro, that's all great. That's all good. But where are you growing as a person? Where are you spiritually, mentally, emotionally? And just like as a spiritual being, where are you headed? Mm-hmm. And a lot of us aren't able to get there because we can't see that all of these scrolling is smoke and mirrors. It ain't real. It's fugazi. Except for our channel. Like, our platform is 100% real.
Scroll, click, like,
subscribe, all that.
But look, also another thing to mention is that just because you're on social media doesn't mean you're being social. Okay? Oof. Second thing is that
I didn't think we were going to sit here and talk about social media.
We're not going to be too
20
much.
minutes.
No.
But I mean, I just keep going. I don't want to stop the flow.
Also, if people are inviting you out, right? You're all online on social media. You're being very active, getting back to everybody. But if people keep inviting you out to barbecues, to dinners, to hang out, and you're turning down every invitation, that's a problem.
Is it though?
I think it is. I think it is because
you wanna know why? Because not everybody's vaccinated. So
no, if you're vaccinated, yes. I mean,
yeah. Come on now, like
there's
been a lot of good reasons to not go to barbecues this year, bro.
But yes, like if you got the vaccine, the point that I'm trying to get at is that we need to see each other. Right? We're just social creatures, and every time you meet up with somebody, I feel like you learn something. Right? What I mean by that is that you learn how to communicate properly. You experience, a new restaurant, a new place, and you just create memories. You know? Yeah. I've created way more memories in real life than online.
I have no memories except for painful ones. Like, all my online memories are all painful. Like,
all painful.
You want to know what was the coolest memory?
What was that?
From this past week was when we were at the gala and we had the one sister come up to us that was in Ramadan Remedies. That was dope. Bro, get a cup, fam. Or leave the cap off. Leave the cap off.
There you go. Jabril showed me proper video etiquette 101.
Like, bro, like, yo, just leave the cap off if you're gonna keep sipping. God dang. But no, that was really cool because like we saw someone who we didn't know beforehand. She was a fan of the podcast. She just started taking classes with Butch. We come up with this course. We release it. She's in there. She was very active in the course, and then we end up seeing her at the gala. So it was really, really cool. And to see, to meet her in person and to experience, her thoughts on the course and things like that was really dope. So, that was really cool. I do got a question though. In the Quran, Allah says that, and this is me paraphrasing, travel will lead to spiritual excellence, or in other translations, travel leads to spiritual perfection. You've been able to travel a little bit more than most in this last 7-8 months, right? Since the start of 2021. How do you feel like the travel that you've experienced now has helped you to grow spiritually, or has it? And you don't have to try, squeeze blood out of a turnip to get the answer. Yeah. And I mean, I feel like I'm better equipped to give it because I've taken like trips that aren't work related, but I don't know, maybe you have some experience with it.
One of the best trips I had, it was last year, but it was still during COVID.
Cool.
Was when I went to Disney. Right. The reason why was that when I was there, everybody was so friendly, and I made so much connections within the park, whether it's cutting lines, getting free food, praying, getting on the rides, whatever it was. It just felt good to know that there is good people there out in the world that just want to see good, that just want to do good. So spiritually, that feels nice because we always see this world as being cold. Right? We always see it as being dark. We always say that people are just bad and this world is a place that I don't want to be at, right? Look at all these young kids going through mental breakdowns, having depressions because there is no hope, right? So when I travel and I see people living off of just simple things or just happy for the simple things in life, that just gives me more hope.
In Disney?
Bro, they said it's the happiest place.
It's the simple thing.
It's the happiest place on earth. You feel me?
I believe it.
I loved it because everybody greeted you with a smile. It didn't matter if you were white, black, Asian. Like literally, it was just like, we're all here for one reason, and that's for Mickey. If you're not here for Mickey, it's here to have fun.
Right.
What about you?
I think I've found that statement by God.
On God.
On God.
On God.
God don't lie. I found that statement by God to be very true. So I took a trip out of the country for almost 2 weeks. I told everyone that I know that I usually talk to, I was like, yo, don't call. I'm not going to really be texting. I purposely tried to go, a sustained period without contact. Like there'll be days where I want to talk to my parents or, talk with you. There was certain things I was like, we had meetings that would come out. I was like, yo, I'm not going to be there. I had classes and I was like, I told my teacher, hey, I'm not going to be there. Like, yeah, I was just like, yo, everything is on pause because if I don't take this time to be where I'm at, it could get bad. All right. What I learned is that there's a universal language. There's a language of the world. And regardless if you speak the same language, right? either between speaking patois or Spanish or Portuguese or whatever language, right? Dutch, whatever language someone's speaking, there's a language of love. There's a language of the world that you can understand with somebody. And it's a spiritual language, right? People can sense you, like babies can sense your spiritual nature. You know what I'm saying? That's why some babies don't want to go to certain people, and they love other people they can feel it. And so when you're traveling, you're more attuned to it because you're more naked. You're more vulnerable. You're more open to receiving help. Like, think about a baby. A baby can only get help. A baby can't do anything. So when you're traveling, and I went alone. I went completely solo. So I was in a situation where, like, I would wake up in the morning and I'm like, okay, one, what do I want to do today? And then two, it was like every day was new and spontaneous. And I think that spontaneity is something that we all lack today, because we wake up with an expectation of what we want life to bring and do for us, right? Like, based off of what we're seeing on social, like, oh, like, I want to watch this TikTok and get joy out of it. And like I told my sister, your life is going to turn to one giant TikTok because you just don't have any boundaries with it. Man, this fly is crazy. This fly.
No boundaries.
This fly, yeah, he has no boundaries, bro. I'm about to get a newspaper.
Spontaneity forces you to be in the moment.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to, because your brain, your mental, your whole energy has to be in that current situation, because you don't know what's going on, right? And as human beings, we have animalistic type of tendencies. So if we don't know what's going on, our first thing is protection, right? Our first thing is instinct, what's going on. So when something's spontaneous, you're not worried about anything else except what's in front of you.
Or you're calm. Like
no, it doesn't have to be like, oh, you're going crazy. Just like, let me just put all my energy on this person, on this place, like wherever I'm at.
Yeah. And when you're not using your phone, for example, when you know that you're in a place where, hey, y'all do y'all and I'm gonna do me. That's why I missed the days where it was just flip phones or there was no phones, because it was like, I always think in my head, if we could do it then, we can do it now. And for me, I think that it's very important that we always try to go back to. That's why I love camping. That's why I love sports, because for X amount of time that you're on a court, you're on a field, you're in a lodge, whatever it is, there is no phone. You can't play soccer with a phone. I've seen my boy Amo try and do it, and it's not good. All right. Shout out Amo. Love you, bro. You have to be, as Mo said, in the moment. And so for me, I think travel is the quickest way to spiritual perfection, because you're forced to be with yourself and those who you're actually with, not the people that are on this thing, right? This thing right here gives you the illusion of being with someone. Even FaceTime. FaceTime is great. I love it. But it's like everything has to have its place in doses. And some people you can't see right now. So I get it. FaceTime, do your thing. But it's all smoke and mirrors. Until I can look you in the face, I can touch you, I can feel you, I can love you in person. It's like, bro, don't, or girl, or, don't hit me with, don't hit me with, like, oh no, but like, we need you, the world, like, you gotta post. It's like, no, you don't. Like,
you ain't super.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, fam, y'all
find
your own happiness. Like, the reality is, if something is not making you happy, let it go. And then if you get back to it, then so be it. But there's no obligation on any one of us to make other people happy when we're not happy.
I told you this before. Some people are okay living through others. All right. Some people are okay with that. That's the first thing. Second thing is that if somebody can't do something, they're just as happy if somebody else does it. For example, I'm Egyptian. I love Muhammad Salah, but I'm not going to base my life success based off of his life. You see what I'm saying? Muhammad Salah was an accomplished Egyptian citizen. He did this for his people. He built schools. He built hospitals. That's not going to make me content, right? Because Muhammad Salah did, and he's Egyptian, he represents me. That's not enough. Yes, it can give me a little dose of motivation, but I still need that responsibility. I still need the onus to be on me, because it's up to me. He did his part. Now I need to do my part. That's the problem. We're not all we're not doing our parts, we're not playing our roles. A lot of us just sitting back and watching. And just like when it comes to this sports team, if you're watching, that means what? You're on the bench. If you're watching, you're on the sideline and you're not in the game. And if you don't want to be in the game, you shouldn't be on the team. And what I mean by that is that not in regards to getting off this planet. No.
Kill yourself.
Don't be like, I'm with it. Don't even say anything. Like, I don't even want, like, if you didn't want to be part of the game, I don't even want to hear you commenting. I don't even want to hear your mouth, because what are you really doing? What can you bring to the table if you're not running with us yourselves?
Well, here's the thing, man. I think that I agree and I disagree.
Go ahead.
Because I think sometimes you have to just, sometimes when you're out playing, and I mean this like literally like with soccer, right?
Yeah.
There's a way, I have this way of, I play with anybody. I don't care how good you are or whatever. And I try to make it the most fun that I can make it. Right. And then other people have fun that way. And it's like, the culture changes when we change, and these platforms change how we change. So if we change the way that we utilize them, then it has to adapt to us, not the other way around. And it used to be that way, but now they've gotten ahead of us because the algorithm reads our behavior. It reads our patterns. But we have to start changing how we determine what matters to us. You know what I'm saying? So one of the things I wanted to bring up, and I think we should bring up this topic because we had other things on the list. I feel like we can do another quick episode and bring those up. But I want to ask you this question, right? I see a lot of kids are very unhappy in life. They're very depressed. They're going through a lot of social anxiety. They feel displaced. They don't feel like they have a real chance at life. And it's sad because we went through all those things without social media, but in some weird way, we were still able to find us, right? I feel like it's very hard for kids today. Damn fly. It's very hard for us today to it's very hard for us today to really zero into the things that are important for us, right? To maintain happiness, and especially for kids, because this is one of those times where it's like you're always trying to be accepted, you're always trying to find your tribe. But with social media, it seems as though your tribe is out there doing things, but if you aren't doing those things, then you suck. And that leads them into a dark place. Do you think that kids need to all get off social media? Or what do you think the solution is for these kids that are growing up with social media? Because I think the last question is kind of BS, right? Do you think, and maybe not just kids, do you think everyone needs to get off of social media in order to really find true peace? Or are we beyond that point where it's like, yo, like, you got to get off? Are we so far beyond the point of no return that it's like, we got to figure out how to adapt within social media?
That's a really good question. I think the problem actually starts before you even get onto the web or social media. All right. I look at my little brother, Mustafa. His friends are about between the ages of 7 to 11, right? Those kids have more at the age of 7, 8, 9, 10 than I did when I was 18 years old. Now think about that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I'm not saying that their life has been sped up, but their experiences, the accumulation of materialistic goods are literally a huge difference between what I had, right? At the age of 18, I literally just got my cell phone. These 8-year-olds have PlayStations, Xbox, they got the Wii, they got the new phone, they're getting Kyrie's.
And they have to work for any of it.
That's what I'm saying.
They have to work for us.
These kids are getting everything. So if you're being given everything and you're going online and seeing that everybody else has everything, what do you have to work for? Right? What do you have to work for? What becomes valuable? So for me, when I got my phone at the age of 18, Facebook was valuable. The internet was valuable. Like, I had 5 minutes left on my phone because, you know, before 9 p.m. it's not free. I gotta pay. Like those 5 minutes, whoever I spoke to was valuable. You feel me?
Everything wasn't a commodity. Everything wasn't unlimited.
Exactly.
Yo, that's crazy. When they came out with the unlimited text, talk, and data plans, it was like, fam, is this real?
So these kids now, you know, they're out. I see my little brother Mustafa, you know, he's calling his friends off FaceTime. They're playing Fortnite, talking to each other on their headset and got the FaceTime. They literally got like 10 or 12 different things going on. They're going on Twitch. So I'm sitting there like, oh my God, these kids are sitting here like they're 40-year-old engineers, you know what I mean? With 4 or 5 different screens up. So what is that doing to them? So I can't even relate. That's the issue. You know what I mean? I can't relate. They're surrounded. So in regards to being happy, the problem is that they don't even know what happiness is, right? They don't know what happiness is. They don't know the simple things in life. I'll tell you why. I have cousins that their mom tells them to go play outside. They're playing outside, but they got their phone in their hand.
But bro, I wouldn't say it's not happiness. I think you can still be happy is in different things. They find happiness in different things. And I
don't think it can be sustained though. That's the problem.
Obviously it can.
By getting more?
Well, I think that you're debating something completely different. I think that your brother, my siblings, and they grew up in a different era where happiness and fun was judged differently.
Judged differently.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, we were like, yo, let's go to what you're saying about like your brother and them FaceTime each other and playing video games. We grew up playing Smash Bros. Like we used to go to my boy, Cosmo's house, right? And we didn't have the Nintendo 64. So we would go across the street to his man's garage and that's where all the kids would meet and we'd play Smash Bros. It would be hot. It's nasty, but we're in that garage just playing.
There was no online. You had to go to your man's crib.
And that was fun. Yeah. But for kids now, it's like, yo, playing online and meeting up with your friends that live in other states or you can't see them is fun and you still get happiness out of it. So I don't think it's fair to say like they don't know what happiness is because they get happiness and fun out of that. But I think that what they don't have is balance. They don't have a balance of being able to say, speak of the devil. They don't have the ability to say, hey, look, like I can do this, but let's also balance it with this, like outside with being inside. And I don't think that's the kid's fault. I think it's the parents' fault.
Oh, yeah, that's always
it's the parents.
You know where I stand. It always starts with the parents.
Yeah, it always starts with the parents. So I don't think it's fair to say, yeah, like they don't know what happiness is. No, they know what it is, but your parent has to give you expo. You could take that phone from a kid, take them out in the woods for a week, and they'll find happiness. Yeah. The goal in life isn't it to be happy. It's to find joy. And joy is a lasting feeling. Happiness is fleeting. It always will be. You can't say, oh, my wife makes me happy. Like, no, if she brings me joy, that means that it's a lasting feeling. Happiness is, you can give your wife everything that she wants and they'll be great, but don't wash the dishes after she told you 5 times. And that happiness is going right down the toilet. So same with kids and same with us. Like, we grew up completely different, but still, we weren't happy when we didn't get certain things, so on and so forth, right? I think you did bring up a good point with kids getting everything that they want. They don't have to work for it. There's a sense of entitlement, right? And so when you go online and you see other kids with all these things, you're wondering, why do they have those things and I don't? Something's wrong with me.
It's that one kid's fault, Ryan's world. Ryan, damn you.
Yeah. All your damn toys. Why? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Again, but we don't know how miserable or happy that kid's life really is.
Yo, I mean, his parents done turn him into a walking brand. You know what
I mean, bro, the kid, he's one of the richest kids in the world. Like, don't get it twisted. Like,
he has his own cereal, fam. Shut up.
Yeah, which is cool. Alhamdulillah. I love it for the kid, right? But for the majority of kids that can't obtain that, it's like, where do we allow kids to realize that they can actually thrive and not have to be a media sensation? How do we tell kids that it's okay that you don't have a YouTube channel, but maybe you're really good at drawing, anime? And even if you don't create anime, it's like, yo, kids have this thing called media bias. Media bias, long story short, is basically when you see the outcome, as you were talking about before, you just see the result rather than the process. But that's all social media is. Social media is only results, right? You said it before. So it's like, if that's all social media is, there's no way that a kid can say, oh, like, but Ryan started off getting no view. Like, no kid is thinking that. They're only looking at now when he's getting 20 million views on a video for a toy that they all want. Like, and then they decide to, oh, why can't it work for me? But it's like, maybe that's not your thing, kid.
Well, how much does that affect them, right? For example, if I like to draw, and every time I draw, I have like a feeling that I have to post it online, that I have to show people. I feel like that really does cripple you, because you just can't sit there and just draw for yourself, right? I feel like the kids now, they always got to show somebody something. You know what I mean? And sometimes I see kids, they do something good and their parents automatically pull out the phone and start taking pictures. I think that's cool, but I think it becomes overwhelming for the kids too. Like, every time they do something, it's a highlight reel. They send it to 1,000 people on WhatsApp, and the kids sometimes just like, hey mom, this was just for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was just for you. Because I have a big family, the kids roll differently. Right, I see some kids like doing one thing, other kids like doing something else. But what I see is the most beautiful is when they all come together. You know what I'm saying? Which is good. But I do believe that the parents can dilute that happiness by not allowing them to work and having them being more entitled, like you mentioned.
Well, you went from one thing to the other, and I want to go back to that, to what you're saying about kids, their parents posting up or like taking pictures left and right. One of the things I remember as a kid was like, when there was a camera, we got really excited.
Yeah, that's true.
You remember what I'm saying? Like,
camera we would come out, I'd be smiling. I would never be mad. You know what I mean? The photo,
you get the picture, you like,
yeah, exactly.
Like you're doing the craziest thing because it was like, it was a commodity. It was like, it was, right? Like, you had to like scroll the little thing back and then you didn't see the picture for months later. So it was like, it was this real big thing of like, yo, like, this is about to be dope. We're about to take this picture. Now it's like, yo, you take it. Oh, let me see. It's like, damn. Like,
I don't like it. Can you do another one?
Like, yeah, no, there's another one. And then you got to try. It's like, there's no moments anymore. We're creating moments. We're not capturing moments. It used to be Kodak was like, capture the moment. We're not capturing moments anymore. There's no more spontaneity. So everything seems curated. All your posts are curated. How many times do you think that girl that you think is fine as hell on IG had to sit down and retake and take her photo?
Way more times than you think.
A lot. So that goes for all of us. Like, bro, the parents don't realize that they're setting up the expectation that everything there's multiple chances for everything, and life doesn't roll that way.
Oh, I see what you mean. Just take another photo if that one doesn't look good. You can do some edits, crop it out.
Yeah, you can curate everything, but life will slap you in the face.
Life is raw.
So when we go to like social media, you know, what we've been talking about, which I don't think we planned that at all,
but
it's becoming a thing where you're looking at your life in the same lens of, is this good enough to put up to represent what I'm putting out there? And I think that, you know, Gary Vee used to say all the time, like, document, don't create. But it's very hard to do when all of your stuff is created. Yeah, it's documented, but it's edited to a T so that you look good. Yeah. Even though it is real and it's documented, it's like, it's difficult.
Remember those pictures you used to look at when you were a kid? Like, your shirt would be all raggedy, or you have like some tomato sauce, or you just fell down, your pants are kind of like scratched up. Now you wouldn't, every photo
kids are too fresh.
Oh, now kids, you look down, they dress down to a T. I said, bro, this kid is 4 years old. His shoes should not be that white. How long has he had those shoes for? You know what I'm saying? But now the parents, they dress them up, they take a photos, and then they take those clothes off. So I let you bring up a good point. Yeah. If every moment has to be perfect and has to be created, then how can you live your life like that when life is nowhere near that?
So that goes back to what I say about travel. Nothing is curated when you travel.
Oh yeah, anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Fam, I ended up in an Airbnb in the middle of a third world country. I left the Airbnb because it was just some wild stuff going on in the middle of the night in this country. I knew one person and I thought they would not answer the phone. I was literally going to be sleeping on the streets.
Whoa.
On the streets. And looking back at it, it was one of the worst moments, but it was also one of the greatest moments because it taught me I can get through whatever is thrown at me. So we could beat this.
Yeah.
Like, what do you guys think? Like, for y'all listening, What do y'all think, man? Like, we're going to post like the thing for the episode, like the thumbnail for the episode on our IG. If you listen to this, go follow us on IG. We're not really active on Twitter so much anymore, but when this goes up on YouTube, like, we want you guys to like actually engage and let us know what you guys think about social media. How's your relationship with social media? Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you need a break? Do you feel like, nah, I'm good, like I like it? Or do you not know? Are you not self-aware enough to be like, yo, like I really need to reevaluate how I utilize these outlets?
Exactly. And also, do you guys think there should be like an age limit, right? If you want to be on Facebook, you need to submit a driver's license showing that you're 18 years old. Like, do you guys think it should be that restricted, or should it be freedom of press and you're at the age of 2 and you're posting statuses? Like, what do you guys think?
We need to protect the youth.
Gotta protect the youth, man. Like, you know, subhanAllah, like, you know, when people say like hijab, that's protection. Literally, it's protection of the eyes, the ears. It's the protection of your innocence. These apps, you can throw that innocence out the window, fam. Yeah. Especially TikTok. TikTok, I've been on the app for a little while. It is a scary app because the way that the algorithm works, it doesn't matter who you're following. More than likely, they're going to put something in your face as a young kid that you should not be seeing.
Well, look, fact of the matter is, you approached me with TikTok like 2 years ago, and I told you, I said, it's dangerous. I'm not getting on it.
Way dangerous.
It's too, because I know myself. I have a addictive personality in certain areas. And I was like, you remember, right? We were sitting in my apartment, and I was like, bro, I'm not getting on it.
My eyes lit up like I just drank 4 cups of coffee. I was just like, bro, get on this.
Yeah, but that's like, but that's what was scary to me was like, I was looking at you and I was watching how you were interacting with it. And I was like, if my man's Mo is reacting to TikTok like this, I don't want anything to do with it. He was like, yo, do this challenge. I'm like, bro,
imagine these kids now.
Yeah, but that's my point. It's too much overstimulation, instant gratification without really having to understand what it takes to make these things and not putting your self-worth on the line of how many people like or share or comment on your stuff. So with that being said,
that's a cap on that.
We're back, baby.
That's a cap on that, baby.
I'm feeling like, what's my man's name? Yo, I just watched a movie, with Keanu Reeves. I'm thinking I'm back. What's the dude's name, bro? John Wick. I'm feeling like John Wick. I think I'm back. We back. Damn, that was supposed to get laughed. Never mind. Yeah, we're back, baby. We feeling it. Flow time. Another episode to go over some more stuff that we had going on. So
yeah. So if you like to give us a thumbs up, and if you have any questions, or if you're curious about the topic and you don't want to go on the YouTube and put that information in, you can shoot us a DM. Right?
No, go on YouTube. Go on YouTube.
Right, go on YouTube because Jabril run that joint. So shoot us a DM.
Do both.
On IG. Do both. Right. But Jabril, if they want to hit us up on IG, how can they do that?
Yeah, for sure. You can find us on Young and Muslim, YOUNG, the letter N Muslim, YouTube, the Young and Muslim podcast. You can find us on all of the listening platforms so that you guys can stream this episode as well as any of the other episodes that we have. How you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling good, man. Alhamdulillah. I'm glad to be on social and actually controlling our moves. I feel like now I know why I'm on it instead of checking it like an empty fridge. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm guilty.
Open up the fridge every single time thinking something's going to pop up, but I haven't even got groceries. So yeah, I'm not moving like that. And, I'm in a better place now. Alhamdulillah. That break was much needed.
Well, your break was kind of forced because I kind of forced you to take it.
Yeah.
I was like, Mo, I don't know what you're about to do, but I'm not posting on social. He was like, bro, like, I was like, I'm not.
I feel good now because I feel like we're not posting to save the world. Right?
Yeah, we're posting to have fun again.
Exactly. Not every post is going to be a revolution. Not every post is going to bring back, you know, like any type of crazy movement. It's like, this is what we're doing. This is where we're at. And if it helps you, alhamdulillah, we're going to keep on pushing. If it doesn't, find a page that will. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And support those individuals. Content is important because not everybody has the luxury of having a positive influence around them. So if you can't find that physically and you have to adhere to virtual, that's okay, but try to turn those virtual contacts into physical contacts and create that balance like Jabril had mentioned.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, let's go ahead and wrap the show up, bro.
Yes, sir. For the last hour and just over 10 minutes, you have been listening to the Young and Muslim Podcast. I'm Jabril Salam.
And Muhammad Hassan.
And we'll leave you with the greetings of peace.
Assalamu
alaikum.
Peace out.
Peace.